Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I will show you how I built this simple app in Chat GPT and embedding it in Moodle. So what this app does is it calculates the volume of a sphere. Okay, so I have my heading there, then I have the image of a sphere, then I have the volume which is actually the formula for calculating the volume of a sphere, and then I have an input box here where the students can add their radius and then hit calculate, and it provides them with a breakdown of how the answer was calculated by making use of the formula. Okay, so let me show you how this is done in Chat GPT. Okay, so first in your browser type in Chat GPT and then hit enter on your keyboard. Your first link usually pops up there introducing Chat GPT. Click on it, then click on try Chat GPT. It will ask you now to either log in. If you have a login details, you can log in, but if you don't, you can click on sign up. Then you can use your Google account or your Microsoft account, or you can provide an email address. Since I've already created an account, I'll use my own account. So I'll click on continue with Google. I'll select my email address, and then it takes me to my Chat GPT interface. Now on your left here, this is usually your chat history. So every conversation you have with Chat GPT will end up here, and you'll see I already have one conversation there. I can clear these conversations by clicking on clear conversation and then clicking on it again, and it will remove those conversations. Okay, so this is basically the same as chatting to your friend, but a more knowledgeable friend. Okay, so in the send message box, you click and you type your question, and then you hit the arrow or the little aeroplane icon, and it will provide you with a possible answer to your solution. Now remember, the limitations of ChatGPT, it may occasionally generate incorrect information, or please read these so that you become familiar, and all other limitations of ChatGPT. Okay, so now remember we want to create this little app. So it's about the volume, calculating the volume of a sphere. Okay, so basically you first create some context for ChatGPT, and as soon as you actually train ChatGPT on the topic at hand, and then you delve deeper into him asking ChatGPT to develop the app. Okay, so first we'll ask him, okay, so please explain how to calculate the volume of a sphere. Okay, press enter on your keyboard, and now it will provide you with, okay, so it says here the formula for calculating the volume of a sphere. There's my formula. It also provides you with some sort of explanation. Okay, so measure the radius of the sphere, let's say 5 centimeters, plug the radius into the formula. So there's my formula, it plugs it in, and there's my answer. Okay, so once this is done, you'll see that it ends up in my chat history, and it provides you the name, sphere, volume, calculation. And you can change this by clicking on the pencil icon and then typing in your own title. But I'll leave that as is for now. Okay, so now that we have this, okay, so now I'll ask him some deeper questions. Okay, so please create or please provide the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code for an app that calculates the volume of a sphere. Okay, So if you want to move down a line, you hold in Shift and Enter, and now you can break it down even further. Please do the following. Okay, so now let's go back to our app. Okay, so we want a heading, and the heading should be, okay, so heading 1 is usually the bigger size of the headings in HTML, so we'll use H1 for the heading. Then we want an image, so we need to provide the image there. Okay. Then we want the formula just underneath the image. And underneath the formula, we want an input box where the users can actually type in the radius. So you ask them to type in the radius, and then we want a calculate button. Okay. And then we want a breakdown of the answer. So let's start here. So we will tell ChatGPT, okay, so please do the following. Number 1, okay, create a heading called, and usually I do this in inverted commas, the heading. Okay, so my heading will be the sphere of a calculator or the sphere volume calculator, and you can provide a heading of your choice. Okay, so we're asking him create a heading called that, and now we can specify make this H1. Okay, so it's heading 1. Okay, and then let's change the color as well. Make the color, let's call it blue. Let's make the color blue of the heading. Okay, let's go back. Press hold on Shift and Enter. Now it's not 2. Now the image. Okay, so I have the image here, and I'll share it in the description, the link in the description, the image that you can use, and it looks basically like this. It's an image I created. Okay, so the image name is sphere underscore image.png. So that's the image name, and this is important. Okay, so okay, add or just, let's go this, just underneath the heading, add the image of a sphere. Okay, and I'll call that image also in inverted comma. So that image, the name of the image is sphere .image.png. Okay, so I'm providing it a name there. So let's just create a space there. Okay, that's that. Okay, so there's my image. Okay, that's the third one. Now that's the second one, the third one. Okay, so we have our heading, now we have our image, and now we need a formula. Okay, underneath the image, and you can maybe spell out the image name. So okay, so it's underneath the image, spell out the image just to make sure that it's the correct image. Okay, it's that image there, so let's just copy that, C, and paste it in there, paste it. Okay, please add the formula of the sphere, or the formula for calculating the volume of the sphere. Okay, so that's that. Now we go down to number 4. So now we have our formula, and now we need an input box and then a calculate button. Okay, number 4, underneath the formula, add an input box for the radius where users can type the radius. Okay. Number 5. Now we need that button. So we have this here, and now we need the button. Okay. So next to the input box, add button with text, and I'll specify the text that I want on the button. Okay, so the text will be calculate volume. Okay, so we'll call this calculate volume. Okay, make the button let's say this is a blue background. Okay. With white text. Okay, and then number 6, we want ChatGPT to break down the answer for the students. Okay, that's number 6. Underneath, the input box and button, provide a breakdown of the answer to the input. Okay, so it's basically we're telling you, okay, please provide us with the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code, okay, for calculating volume of the sphere. Then we provide specific instructions for him, the heading, the image, the everything. Okay, so now once we're done here, we click on, we can either type, or we can either press enter on our keyboard or just click on the little aeroplane icon. Now it's going through our question and it will provide us with a response. Okay, so now it's time to go and make us a cup of coffee. I'll take 1 sugar and milk, and we just sit and wait for the code. First, it will provide us with the HTML code. Okay, so now you'll see that it provided us with the HTML code. So here's my HTML, my CSS, which usually styles my HTML, which usually styles my app, and then my JavaScript, and this is basically the functionality of how the app will calculate the by making use of the formula. Okay, so now we need to create 3 documents. Okay, so on your desktop, let's go to our desktop. Let's just go to our desktop, right click on your desktop, create a new folder. Okay, so let's call this folder the app name. So, let's call this sphere volume calculator. Okay, press enter on your keyboard. Now within this folder, okay, so within this folder we'll create 3 files. Okay, so right click within this folder, go down to new, and then click on text document, and our first file we'll call index.html. Remove the .txt and press enter on your keyboard. Click yes here for changing the file name. Then this is our first file. Our second file, again, right click anywhere in the blank space here, click on new, and then click on text document. Our second file we'll call this our style.css. Remove the .txt and press enter. Yes, we will make the changes. So this will be our index file, our HTML code. This will be our CSS. And now for our JavaScript, right click again, new, and then click on text document, and this will be our JavaScript. So we'll call this script.js. Remove the .txt, press enter on your keyboard, click yes, and there's our JavaScript. Now, on your index.html, right click, and then you can open this with any notepad or use Notepad++ or whatever text editor you have. Okay, so I'll choose Notepad just to make it more easier for you to follow. Okay, so yes, Notepad. Let's minimize that, and let's open our Chat GPT. Okay, so let's go to our HTML first. Let's copy this. Okay, go back to our Notepad and paste it in there. We'll just paste it there and then click on save. Then we're done. Close this. Scroll down to where our CSS code are. Let's copy this. Go to our folder that we've just created. Okay, so there's our folder and this is our CSS. Right click on it, open with, and there's Notepad. Okay, so there's our CSS. We'll paste it there and we'll click on file and then save. Then we're done. And now for our JavaScript, right click, open, and then Notepad. There's our Notepad. And we'll just go to our Chat GPT and we'll copy that JavaScript. Okay, so once we're done, we'll paste it in there and then we'll save it. Okay, that's it. Let's close this. So now go to your folder. So this is my folder. Double click on index.html and you'll see there's your app. Okay, so now you see the link is broken. Why? In your folder you'll see there's no image there. Okay, so the image should also be included in this folder. Okay, so we'll add the image there. I'll just pop the image in there. Okay, so there's our image. Let's refresh there. Let's just close this. Let's close this. Okay, let's go back and open this again. Not yet. Let's just see in our code. Please replace sphere with the actual file name and extension of the. Okay, cool. So let's just check here. Where's our image? This is our HTML. So there's the image there. Okay. So there's my image. Okay, cool. So let's just refresh. Okay, so you see what happened here. It says here sphere.image.png, and in my folder, so let's just go back to my folder. It says here sphere_image.png. Okay, so let's change this. Let's just rename this. So let's rename this. So it's then sphere.image.png. Press enter on your keyboard. Okay. So now let's refresh. Okay, so there's our image. Okay, so now we have our heading there. Remember, we specified blue as the color. We have our little image there. We have the formula there. And then we have enter the radius of the sphere. Let's test this. So let's say this is 10, and then it calculate. Okay, so then it provides us with the answer. But now the look and feel, this is not really neat and presentable. Okay, so I'll ask ChatGPT to actually make it more presentable, more the look and the feel. Okay, and it will basically update the CSS file. So let's go back. Okay, so we're done with that. So let's say thank you. Well done. Okay. Okay, it will tell us that you're welcome and we're free to ask more questions. Okay, so now you'll see this is actually stretched through the whole width as well as this. I'm happy with the text here or the heading. I'm happy with the image here, but I'm not happy with these three. Okay, so I'll ask ChatGPT to format this a bit. Okay, so first I'll ask him, okay, now make the app more presentable. by doing the following. Okay, so now remember we have a general statement here, and then we can dive deeper into it by specifying what we want to change here. Okay, so we want him to make the width more in line with the image, as well as the width here more in line with the text box. Okay, so let's specify that. Okay, so please give the app a more 3D appearance. Okay, that's number one. Number two, please decrease the size of, remember we want to decrease the size here. Okay, so decrease the size of the formula box to the same width as the formula. Okay, so we're asking him, okay, make this formula box the same as this. We should actually say the same as this input box. Okay, the same as the input box. Okay, so input box. Okay, then we also want him or her to change the, so this is a one line answer. I don't want that. I want actually a breakdown of the answer. So yeah, so we want this. So please decrease the size of the answer box to be more the same width as the input box. Okay, then the final one I want to ask ChatGPT is to actually give a breakdown of this answer. So first provide the formula again, and then substitute the values or substitute the variables, and then provide an answer. Okay, so okay, number 4, please can you provide a step-by-step solution to the problem by first providing the formula again, and then substituting the formula with the actual values, and then do the calculations. Okay, I'm happy with that. So we've provided it, we've asking him, okay, so make it more presentable, then do these 4 steps for us. Okay, so let's hit enter on our keyboard and see what it comes up with. So it will now provide us with an updated HTML, CSS and JavaScript code. Remember, we're still using the free version of ChatGPT. There's also a plus version where you can upgrade, which will do the actual calculations or the actual processes more faster, more quicker. Yeah. So maybe if you opt for the plus version, you can just click on plus version and upgrade, provide your banking details, and it will add a subscription plan for you, and you can make use of the plus version. I'll skip right to the end so that I don't waste your time, and I'll continue when all 3 elements are visible. Now, this is one of the drawbacks of the free version as well as the plus version. It will occasionally stop. And you have to again ask it the same question, but what I usually do is I copy the last snippet of the code, and I'll ask it, okay, please continue where you left off, and I'll usually provide that last code snippet, and then I'll tell it, please don't start at the beginning, just continue from this point onwards. Okay. If you just ask him, okay, just please continue, it will start right at the beginning and it will provide the same code over and over again. Okay, so that's basically what I learned so far from ChatGPT. You don't ask him, okay, just continue. You provide him with the last code snippet and it will continue from that point onwards. Okay, so it's just completed this CSS and now it's busy with the JavaScript. Okay, so this is the updated version. So now we need to replace this new version of what ChatGPT just provided us and replace the old one. Okay, so let's go to our folder. So there's the index, right click on it and then click on open with Notepad. So there's our code. We can just select everything here, remove it and paste our new code. Remember it stopped at some point, ChatGPT stopped. Okay, so let's just go find that place where it stopped, and it stopped there just underneath there. Okay, so let's copy this, just make sure. Okay, go back to our folder, our file there, and we'll paste it just underneath here. We'll paste it there. Okay, we click on file and save. So that's the HTML file. And now it's saying, okay, the CSS file, this is the CSS, updated CSS, and it should continue the same as before, only the .formula and .results classes have changed. Okay, so we'll copy this, we'll go to our folder, and then that is the CSS, we'll open it with Notepad+, and it states there that it's the same as before, it's only the formula. Okay, so we can paste it below there and then save, close, and then it's the JavaScript. So let's copy this, and it looks like this is the complete JavaScript. Okay, so let's open this Notepad and we'll paste it in there. Okay, function. Okay, so let's save it, let's close it, and let's run our index. Okay, so now we have our top header, we have our image there, there's our little formula. It's nicely, the width was decreased. There's our input box, it's 10, calculate the volume, and it provides us with a step-by-step instructions. Okay, so it provides us with first the formula, then it substitutes the formula with the radius that the user added, and then it provides us with a final calculation. I would have loved that it provided us with pi's value as well, but that's something for another time. But now it looks really nice. Yeah. So from here onwards, we'll be embedding this into Moodle. And if you want any other changes like the colors, like you don't like the border style, or you want to move elements around here, you can do that. You can ask ChatGPT to do that, and it will provide you with that particular steps, or that answers you on the questions you've asked. Okay, so now we have our folder here. Okay, so it's basically in sphere volume calculator. So what I usually do is I go to my desktop. So there's my desktop, I right click, and then I compress that file. So I'll add it to, so I'll only right click. I usually use WinRAR, but you can use WinZip. Okay, I'll add it to archive, and then I'll choose WinZip here. I make sure that my file name is correct and it's a .zip file. I'll click on OK, and it will create a zipped folder for me. Okay, so now let's go back to Moodle. Okay, so I'll go to my Moodle site. This is my Moodle site. I'll click on login. And now I need to specify where I want to add the app that I've just developed. So I click on home. I'll go to the test course I've added. Okay, so this is my test course, and I want to add my sphere calculator within topic 1. Okay, I'll turn editing on. And then I'll click on add an activity or resource. Now for this exercise, I'll choose the file resource. I'll give it a name. So the name will be a sphere calculator or a sphere volume calculator. Okay, so that's my app's name. And now in here, I will upload that zip file. Okay, so let's just go back to my desktop. There's my zip file. Click on open. I'll click on upload. There's my zip file. Now, very important here, we can't use a zip file, or we can, but we need to specify the main file. So I'll unzip this by clicking on it and then clicking on unzip. Okay, so there's the unzipped version. Now I can delete this one here. Okay, so the zip file I can delete. I'll click on this once and it will open all my files within that. You'll see there's my index file, my JavaScript file, my image, and there's my CSS file. Okay, so I'll click on index. From here, I'll click on set main file, and that's that. Now, under appearance, I can select either to automatically embed it, or to allow a pop-up to appear. So I'll click on embed. I can also choose automatic. It will do the same thing, but I usually choose embed. I'll scroll down. I can remove the activity completion, and then I'll click on save and display. Okay, so there's my app embedded. It will provide me with this little interface, and now the students can add their volume. It will be nice if I could just have the word there, volume, but okay, we'll leave it for now. Calculate, and it will provide the users with the step-by-step instructions on how it calculated the volume of the sphere. Okay, but I really don't like this scrolling up and down here. So let's change that. So what you can do is just right click in any in the gray area here. Okay, click on inspect, and then we'll find that gray area there that we can increase the size. Okay, so let's move up. So I think it's this one here. So that's the header. So just hover over the elements here. That's the content. Okay, we don't want that. Okay, so there's the secondary. Okay, so it should be somewhere here. Okay, so let's go down. This is the region main. This is the region main. Okay, so there's notifications. There's my resource content. It looks like it should be a class. Okay, so just double click on that. So it's this gray area here. Make sure that it is actually that gray area. Okay, now what we need to do is I want to copy this and I want to increase the size. Okay, so I'll go back to Chat GPT and I'm going to ask Chat GPT to increase that size for me, and I can actually add it into my custom CSS, or my custom CSS of my theme. Okay, so please increase the size of this class, and I'll specify which class. There we go. Okay, so I'll click on the little aeroplane icon. I'm sorry, but it's an AI language. Could you please provide me with the context? Okay, so now we need to be more specific. Okay, so I can't just say please increase the size of the class. Okay, so now please provide the CSS to increase the height of the class. And there's my class. Okay, so press enter on my keyboard or just the aeroplane icon, and now it will provide me with the CSS code for increasing that class. Okay, so there's my CSS code, and I can change the height to my liking. Okay, so I'll copy that. I'll go back to my Moodle site. I can close this now, because I'm sure that it's this area here. So what I want to do is increase the size. Okay, so I'll go to my site administration, and under appearance, I'll click on my theme that I'm using. I'm using the class theme for this Moodle instance. So under general, within my class theme, I'll scroll down, and here you'll see custom CSS. Now for any other theme, it will be specified within that theme, or what will be the area for the custom CSS. And I'll just paste that. It shows me the resource general, and the height I can specify. I can either decrease or increase the height here. So I'll save it. Okay, now I'll go back to my course. So let's just go to my course there. And there's my app. I'll click on it. And you'll see, did it increase? No, I don't think so. 500 may be too little. So let's make it 700. I'll save it. I'll go back to my app. Okay, nice. There, perfect. Okay. So all I want to see is that if the student types in, let's say 9 and calculate, I want to see the complete calculations. Yeah. Okay. And that's about it. So what we've done is we've asked ChatGPT to develop an app for us for our Moodle instance. Remember to be specific in your questions, and to actually break it down into step-by-step instructions for ChatGPT to follow. Okay, and make sure that the calculations are correct. So please take out your calculator and do the calculations yourself and test if this is correct. Otherwise, make some adjustments. Ask ChatGPT to make some adjustments to the actual app. So for someone just starting out, try this. I'll add the image in the description, the link to the image in the description. Try it out and see if it works for you.